So you made the decision. You're going to go work on an oil rig. But now you're faced with two main options: offshore or land rigs. And which one is right for you? Hi, I'm John, and I will be your greenhead guide to the oil field. And I just want to take a few minutes to discuss some of the different things that you might want to think about when making this decision. Offshore rigs, it's in the title. They are offshore, they are out in the ocean, and they are all over the world. Land rigs, same thing. They're on land, and the highest concentration of land rigs in the U.S. is the West Texas Permian Basin. But there's also rigs in Pennsylvania, Wyoming, New Mexico, Louisiana, Saudi Arabia, South America. Wherever you live, chances are within a few hours drive, there's a land rig out there. Or if you live close to the coast, you're not too far from an offshore rig. Now, whichever one you choose, traveling is required. And as a disclaimer, statistically speaking, traveling is the most dangerous part of this job because you are driving long hours. For people that choose offshore rigs, they're driving long hours to get to a boat, or they're driving long hours to get to a helicopter that will take them to the rig. So if flying isn't really an option for you, then maybe land rigs is something you should consider. For anyone that chooses to work on land rigs, there's long hours of driving again, but then you're dealing with remote locations. Many of these rigs are way out in the middle of nowhere. So remote locations, difficult roads to get through. And if this is your option, if this is what you choose, then my recommendation is make sure that you keep your gas tank full. Some of these rigs are an hour from the nearest gas station, an hour off of the nearest paved road, and they're way out in the middle of nowhere. So if you're comfortable with that, if you have a good vehicle that you feel can make it, then that's a good option. Other things to consider is food. When I was getting ready to get hired on, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. If you choose offshore rigs, offshores, they will provide food for their hands. They have catering with several different food options. So if you have a specific diet, chances are that they have an option for you. So that's not an issue. You don't have to worry about taking your own food. If you decide to work on a land rig, some oil companies will provide catering, but that's not a guarantee. So bringing your own food is your best option. What I do is my wife, she will cook a big meal and freeze these meals for me. So it's meal prep. And I'll go with enough food with already prepped meals or canned foods. So think about that. Take a cooler full of prepped meals that are frozen. Take canned foods. If your rig isn't in a location that's too far away from a grocery store, then maybe you can go grocery shopping on your time off. You get done with your day working on the rig and you go to the grocery store. Now, I don't fully recommend that because you're cutting down on your time of getting rest. And when you're working on a rig, your rest is very, very important. But if that's your only option, then that is an option. So taking frozen food in a cooler, taking canned foods, or going grocery shopping while you're on hitch. Most rigs, all the rigs that I've ever worked on, their housing quarters have kitchens, they have freezers and refrigerators. But remember, if you're going to be putting frozen food in these freezers and refrigerators, you are sharing that with maybe up to 11 other guys. So take that in consideration whenever you are planning what you're going to eat. Another thing to consider is communication. The remoteness of these rigs, whether it's out in the ocean or it's here on land, can drastically affect cell phone service. With offshore rigs, they often will have rig phones. Now, there might be a room full of phones. They might have a few individual rooms with a phone so you can have a private conversation. But your time on that phone will be limited because you're sharing that phone with other men or other people that are trying to talk to their families. So you might not get the privacy or the talk time that you would desire. For people working on land rigs, the remoteness, the geography of wherever your rig is can drastically affect cell phone service. You may have cell phone service all the way up to the rig, and then the rig is in a ravine, it's in a bowl, it's up on a mountain, it's somewhere that all of a sudden it's a dead zone. And so it's hard to make phone calls that way, or sometimes not available at all. All rigs that I've worked on have had Wi-Fi, but sometimes the Wi-Fi is not available for the hands. It's just for the rig managers so that they can handle business in communication with the offices. But if it works out, then maybe you can get Wi-Fi from the rig and talk that way. Another option is you are allowed to leave location. So after you get off work and you shower, you eat, you clean up, it's time to talk to your loved ones. You can, if it's get in your vehicle and drive off location a little ways until you get service. Also, with that, take into consideration any hazards that are involved with that. Are you too tired to talk? How far do you have to drive? These are all options that you need to think about. But anyway, all of them are good choices, but these are the things to consider when deciding which one of them is right for you. So think about it and stay safe.